Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we shall see real-world application problems related to addition and subtraction of fractions. So let us take an example here, a real-world application example. In here, let us say you purchased, I'm going to just write the main points here and I'm going to read the problem out for you. Let us say you purchased 4 1/4 acres of land. 4 1/4 acres of land, let's say a year ago. And then you sold part of it. Let's say you sold 2.5 acres of land this year. How many acres of property do you still own? So these types of problems we can think about as application problems, and the way we can translate it to reality is by writing it out in this manner. You had 4 1/4 acres of land last year, and you sold. Sold means you're going to subtract. You're going to take away from what you have, minus 2 1/2. So it is a application problem related to subtraction. So the steps we want to follow here are as follows. We're going to these numbers are in mixed number format. We're going to convert them into improper fractions and then find the common denominator and then simplify them, and then we will know what is the amount of land we still own. Okay, so let's do that. Step number two, we're going to simplify these mixed numbers. The way we're going to do it is as follows. We're going to take the denominator of the fraction 4, multiply to the number on the side, and then add the number in the numerator part, and then divide that whole expression by the denominator value, which is 4, minus. For the second mixed number, we have 2 in the denominator. We're going to multiply to the number on the side, take the product of that, and then add it to the number on the numerator part, and then divide that whole expression by 2. So when we simplify this, it is going to come out as follows. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 1 is 17 over 4, minus, in the second part of it, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5, divided by 2. Therefore, the way we can simplify this is as follows. The common denominator between 4 and 2 is 4. So we're going to write the first fraction as is, or we can say we're going to multiply and divide that by 1, which doesn't change that expression. And then the second expression, we're going to say we have 5 over 2. The second fraction we have is 5 over 2, and we're going to multiply and divide this by 2, which makes it a common denominator of 4. So therefore now we can come back here and then say the common denominator, let's write it this way. 17, we multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. So we have 17 times 1 is 17, 4 times 1 is 4, and then 5 times 2 in the second expression is 10, and then the denominator is 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So now we have a common denominator of 4. We combine the numerator parts. 17 minus 10. 17 minus 10 is going to be equal to 7 over 4. 7 over 4 is in its improper fraction format. We can also express 7 over 4 as a mixed number. So we take the 7 and then divide it by 4. We're going to recall our 4 times table. 4 times what number is equal to or less than 7? 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. We cannot use 2, so therefore we're going to use 1. 4 times 1 is 4. When we subtract 4 from 7, we are left with 3. Therefore, 7 over 4 we can write it as 1 3 over 4, like that. Therefore, when we originally owned 4 1/4 acre of land, and when we sold 2.5 acres of land, we are left with 1 3/4 acres of land. So that is the way we can relate to application problems in fractions. Let us look at another example here. Let us look at another application example here. In this case, let us say you spent, I'm going to write here, you spent 1 1/4 hour during your studying for math, or doing your math work, and you spent 1 1/2 hour studying for history, and then you spent 2 1/2 hour doing homework for math and history. Okay, how many hours did you spend on all these activities? That is the question. Let us say you spent 1 1/4 hour studying for math, 1 1/2 hour studying for history, and then you spent 2.5 hours working on the homework for math and history. How many hours did you spend on these activities? So it is an application problem related to fractions. So pretty much the way we want to understand this is as follows. Let me write it as step number 1. For math, you spent 1 1/4 hour. Then you spent another 1 1/2 hour to study history. So we're going to add it. We're going to add 1 1/2 hour to that first mixed number. And then you spent 2.5 hours. That means you're going to add 2.5 hours doing homework for math and history. So it is a application problem in addition of fractions. So the fractions happen to be in mixed number format. So we're going to convert them into improper fractions, and then find out how many hours you spent on all of these activities. So as step number 2, we're going to convert these mixed numbers into improper fractions. So the way we do it is as follows. For the first mixed number, we take the number in the denominator, multiply to the number on the side, add the number on the numerator, and then divide it by the denominator value. We take the second mixed number, the denominator is 2, the number on the side is 1. We take the product of that, add it to 1, and then divide it by the denominator value, which is 2. We take the third mixed number, which has a denominator of 2, and the number on the side is 2, and then we add the product of that to the number which we have in the numerator, which is 1, and then we divide that whole expression by 2. Now we are ready to simplify this. So 4 times 1 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5 divided by 4, plus the second part is 2 times 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3 over 2, plus the third expression is 2 times 2 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5 divided by 2. So if we were to look at this, to find the least common multiple for the numbers 4, 2, and 2, the least common multiple is going to be equal to 4. So therefore we'll circle that 4 number, and then we're going to come back and then find out the common denominator for this. So the way we're going to do that is as follows. Step number 3. We're going to write the first fraction, 5 over 4. We're going to multiply and divide this by 1 because we already have the common denominator as 4 there. For the second fraction, which is 3 over 2, we're going to multiply and divide by 2 here, so that way the common denominator is going to be equal to 4. And for the third fraction, we have 5 over 2, and we're going to multiply and divide this by 2 again, because then we make the common denominator as equal to 4. Now we are ready to multiply the numerator parts, multiply the denominator parts. 5 times 1 is 5, divided by 4 times 1 is 4. And then 3 times 2 is 6, and then 2 times 2 is 4, and then 5 times 2 is 10, and then 2 times 2 is 4. Now we have a common denominator of 4. We combine the numerator parts. We have 5 plus 6 plus 10. 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 10 is 21 divided by 4. Okay, so 21 divided by 4 is what we have. So 21 divided by 4 is in an improper fraction format because the numerator value is larger than the denominator value. We can express this as a mixed number. So we'll write it as a next step here, step number 4. We have 21 divided by 4. We're going to express this as a mixed number. So we're going to perform the long division process. So 21 divided by 4. 4 times what number is equal to or less than 21? 4 times 5 is equal to 20. And when we subtract 20 from 21, we are left with 1. Therefore, 21 divided by 4 can be written out as 1 over 4. So therefore, 1 over 4 is in its mixed number format, and then 21 over 4 is in its improper fraction format. So therefore, to tie it back into the problem, if you spent 1 1/4 hour studying for math work, and if you spent 1.5 hours studying for history work, and if you spend 2.5 hours doing homework for math and history, how many hours you spent, what is the total amount of time you spent on these activities? You spent 5 1/4 hour on all of these activities. So therefore, this is how we are able to relate to problems, application problems related to fractions. Okay. In my next presentation, we shall see more application problems on addition and subtraction of fractions.